This is Tim Cronin from Seton Hill University with Figured Out Baseball, and today I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about pitch design for four-seam fastballs. So I think this is the easiest pitch to throw, especially for young kids in the youth, anywhere from high school all the way up to the college big league level. Easiest way with most people grip it, and the way to grip it, you can either go with the backward C or the forward C. You can see the seams right here. I don't think there's one way that's right and one way that's wrong. I think it's just personal preference for what guys like. The big thing for fastballs is thumb position. Some guys prefer to have the thumb out here on the ball, while other guys prefer to have it tucked. I think for a four-seam fastball, it's probably easier to have it out like this because we want to keep the ball relatively straight. When we tuck our thumb under, it allows us to pronate the ball a little bit, which would get some more run. And for a four-seam fastball, we want to keep the ball generally straight. So this is where the thumb would kind of be outside. Like if someone just picked up a baseball, grabbed it, and rested it, that's probably where their thumb would be. This is probably the easiest thumb position for guys to throw the ball with. Anytime we have more of our fingers on the baseball, it's going to allow us for more feel of the ball. I think another thing what guys like to do, a lot of guys I see throw the four seam with their fingers together. Again, that's a feel thing. I was a guy who threw with fingers together. A lot of people here at Seton Hill, we throw our fastballs with our fingers together. Wide grip is also something I think kids learn when they're young. There's no right or wrong way to it. Guys who have a tough time commanding the ball, I would suggest spreading their fingers out a little bit just to cover more surface area of the baseball, and allows for the fingers to roll off the ball easier than what it is if the fingers are closer together. I think with a four-seam fastball, in terms of finger pressure, we want to have even pressure between our index and our middle finger. I think that just allows for a more clean release off the baseball. When guys are throwing it, you'd like to tell guys just throw it hard and let it rip, to be honest with you. Every time someone throws a baseball, they have some natural pronation on the ball, and this will happen naturally without people really knowing that's even happening. So we tell people grab it. I like to tell them to either grip with their finger pads up here on the seams, or some people even prefer the lines of their knuckles to go right on the seam. Again, that's personal preference, but I believe in terms of finger pressure, pretty even between the middle finger and the index finger, and then tell guys just to throw it. Some people like to think snapping their wrist. Things we want to look for is true backspin on the ball. We don't want to see the ball cutting at all. If you're a coach who's fortunate to have a Rapsoda or any other type of pitch tracking technology like that, anytime you see a spin efficiency that's relatively lower, that means you're cutting the ball. For guys that don't have that, just look for some natural cut. If anything, we want to see the ball run towards the arm side. That would imply that the ball's coming off true or off the person's finger. That's the true spin that we're looking for with a fastball. If someone's cutting the ball, they're probably getting if we're throwing this way, they're probably getting their middle finger on the side of the ball, and the middle finger rolling off this way is causing the ball to not spin true back like this. It's implying some cut and some side spin on the ball in the wrong direction. That is effective for some people, but if we're trying to throw a true backspinning four-seam fastball, that's something we would try to avoid. A good way to see this, if you don't have any technologies, to get a ball and literally draw a line here and color one side of it with a Sharpie, and then you can literally just use your iPhone or an iPad or whatever, and you'll see someone release the ball, and you want that line to stay pretty much true the entire time. If that line doesn't stay true and it starts to disappear and then come back, that's a good sign that someone's cutting the baseball. If you're fortunate enough to know spin rates from your pitchers, and you know your guy has a high spin rate, a four-seam fastball would be a great pitch for him to throw. That's a pitch that could be very effective up in the zone, and that's if we do throw a true four-seam fastball where we're coming from relatively over the top, or even if you do come from a low slot, you can apply the four-seam backspin. I think guys with good spin rates that have a lot of useful spin on the ball with a high spin efficiency can get a lot of vertical break on the ball, and pitching up in the zone is something that's very beneficial for them. And I think that's easier for guys that come from a higher arm slot. You'll see guys that come from a lower arm slot have an easier time grasping the two-seam fastball, which is where I'm going to go in my next video. This is Tim Cronin with Seton Hill Baseball. We just talked a little bit about pitch design with a four-seam fastball. In our next video, we're going to talk about pitch design in regards to a two-seam fastball.